My name is Jen Hilner. I'm one of the sales leads at Cognitect, and this is my colleague, Tim Baldridge. He's one of our senior engineers. At Cognitect, we help companies around the world revolutionize their technology systems. These companies range from startups trying to get a product idea off the ground and into reality, and then to large global Fortune 100 companies that are looking to innovate in order to stay ahead and stay competitive. We use tools like Clojure and our proprietary data platform, Datomic, which Tim will talk more about today. But it's our approach that makes our client engagement so successful. We have found that the key to tackling large systems and challenging requirements is simplicity. Our approach, our solutions, and our years of experience allow us to help our customers design and build serious information systems that solve complex, data-driven problems.
As it turns out, there's a pretty common problem with data, especially data that comes from multiple sources. Essentially, it's the ability to understand what's happened to the data over time, how it's evolved, who changed it, and what it was like at any given point in time. In other words, auditability. While auditability has always been an important concept, especially in industries like financial services, it's never been solved particularly well. Current systems are slow, costly, error-prone, and inflexible for the kind of challenges we face today. Many recent database and data solutions built to enhance scalability demand trade-offs many financial services organizations simply cannot make. Datomic was built with a modern infrastructure in mind to create a dynamically scaling data solution that combines traditional database features like ACID transactions and queries, with new capabilities like automatic joins, complete history, evolvable schema, and the ability to leverage many different storages, including the storage you are sitting on today. This approach enables us to rethink the way data is collected, stored, distributed, accessed, and analyzed. To understand Datomic and what it means for your development teams, it is critical to understand one core idea. Datomic never forgets any data. Data is the accumulation of facts over time, just like the real world. If a transaction needs to update your understanding of an existing piece of information, it appends the new fact. This fact, its previous state, and the transaction that modified it are all stored and accessible to your developers and analysts within a simple query. From this one idea, an immutable database, Datomic-backed systems exhibit some very interesting and valuable capabilities. This immutability means you can distribute your data broadly at query time without risking consistency conflicts. With its flexible architecture and data-driven interface, Datomic provides a more nimble consistency. You can run heavyweight analytical or audit-focused queries along operational queries, all on live data, while recording transactional data, and your performance will not be impacted. Because all additions and retractions of facts are captured along with the transactions that contain them, you get a built-in audit trail that allows you to easily determine what changes were made, when, and by whom. This greatly facilitates not only regulatory compliance, but also helps developers with their ability to determine the source of errors and failures. The accumulation of facts over time means that you have a true history of your business. Not only can you travel to any point in time to examine the context in which your decisions were made, but you can also easily understand the path that led your business to where it is today, which will help you make better decisions about tomorrow. Today, I'd like to share a few stories of how financial services organizations are taking advantage of these new capabilities. Nubank is a financial services startup. They created a bank to compete with Brazil's biggest players. Differentiation through technology was their strategy from day one. They needed a nimble data infrastructure that would allow them to carefully maneuver between the technical and analytical sides of their business. They wanted to build a system that would grow in complexity, meeting ever-changing regulatory and business rules, and also have full auditing capabilities. Nubank's microservices architecture and their ability to run analytical and audit queries against live data allowed them to move fast and disrupt, giving them a competitive edge. In essence, a robust system of record built on a modern data architecture. And all of this stands on Datomic. Auditability goes beyond creating the system of record for financial transactions. A top 10 global bank used Datomic to help them support a rapidly evolving portfolio of foreign exchange products that tracks a huge set of product combinations across multiple currencies. Their challenge was to create a single source of truth for all their products, their transactions, and their entire tree of trades. The system that we built with them had Datomic at its core. Datomic's distributed architecture and built-in caching enabled the business to always deliver rapid responses to queries. And its deductive query and flexible schema enabled deep auditing of nested transactions over time. And since this was a big bank with an existing infrastructure, you might guess they had an existing storage solution from Oracle. Because Datomic is very flexible in what storage you use, they were able to run Datomic on Oracle, thus leveraging their existing investments. There's one more organization I want to talk to you about today. They're a commodity trading company that needed to build a new commodity trading risk management platform. While deciding that they didn't want to go through a massive install of an off-the-shelf system, they chose to use Cognitect to build a bespoke system that used Datomic at the foundation. Much like the other examples I mentioned, data was at the core of their system. Many types of financial data were contained in multiple silos. Getting this data into a format that an analyst, accountant, or CEO could understand took significant work, and it certainly wasn't anywhere near real time. However, it was critical to understand the portfolio at any time in order to make the right decisions on short-term trading and long-term risk. Tracing and querying risk over history enabled everyone to immediately understand the rationale behind a trade. But trading data moves fast, and the system needed to handle a high data volume, and needed to transact the queries faster than other distributed and mutable data technologies like blockchain. In the end, Cognitect was able to empower this company by unifying all the silos of data, and yet support live, real-time analytical queries across all the trades. We also built a custom UI that showed decision makers how to reduce their analytical built a UI that allowed decision makers to reduce their analytical time down from hours to minutes. And we couldn't have done all of this without Datomic. As you can tell, financial services are a pretty secretive group. This is why we're talking about top 10 bank and commodity trading firm. It's even tougher to get them to let us show you their data. But I want to help you visualize today what Datomic can do for you. Imagine visualizing all your financial transactions over the course of time. What would that look like? Is it a spreadsheet, some bar graphs, some charts? And why do you think of it that way? I posit you think of your data this way because you think of it as a static element. It's one set of data, and it isn't changing. But we know that's not true. Data changes all the time. Shouldn't we be able to see it change over time and to use that to understand and to discover? Let's take a look at this project. This is a large company that had significant amounts of transactional data from a number of different points in their customer journey. It happens to be the e-commerce operation of a very large company. But we could just as easily be talking about personal finance or trading transactions or loan applications. What you're seeing is multiple data sources: transactional, operational, and inventory. These typically disparate sources of data have been unified in Datomic to create actionable insight. As easily as we move through this video, so you can move through data in Datomic, because Datomic never forgets. And we can always tell what the source of truth of the data was at any given point in time. So you can rewind it to see where things have changed. In this case, they were able to tell where customers were leaving the sales process, thus resulting in lost revenue. New processes could then be implemented based on this insight. These processes could then be used to increase revenue by a substantial amount. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we are all looking to do with our data? Make our businesses run better? What you saw today is not an out-of-the-box solution. It takes a dedicated partner to understand, unlock, and visualize your data. And though the visual is compelling, the magic of the work that we do is in the data. So I'd like to invite you to come and talk to us today. Find out how to try Datomic and how Cognitect can take you from data to actionable insights. Datomic is our secret weapon, and it can be yours too. Thank you.